Oh, there. Hey, hi. Hey, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's me, Matt. Hi.
Good morning, everybody. It's Kat.
Hello.
We're late.
Hey.
It's Matt's fault.
Well, gosh. Okay. Might as well just throw me under the school bus right away. My God.
There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
totally my fault. I was dragging ass this morning. What can I say? I've got this hair fluke that just won't quit. My hair is so fluffy. It actually took effort to put the hat on. It's like
Did
I
it?
don't. It's like Hope. You remember Hope Brady?
Yeah.
She was on a couple of weeks ago during the whole Doug thing.
Well, more like a couple of months ago, but yeah.
A month ago, we'll say.
Hmm.
Yeah, so she used to have like big '80s hair, just
She had
curly, and
fantastic big 80s hair.
it's like really when you think of people from the '80s, you think of Bo and Hope. They were the model for what it is that pop culture sees '80s people as today. Big old Farradeau hair, big old giant curly perms, everybody
Mhm.
walking through life as if they've just taken a glamour shot.
Exactly.
So, all of that to say, my hair is really, really big right now. And while I'm, a middle aged man and I wish it was a little more full than it is now, there's still quite a bit of it. And when I let it get lengthy, and when it's freshly washed,
Hmm.
I'm talking freshly washed,
Hmm.
freshly conditioned. It
Hmm.
is voluminous. I am sure. I mean, people constantly say, "Oh, your hair is just like your grandfather's." I don't. I always remembered him as a thin-haired silver man, so I don't know. I don't know about all that, but there's just a lot of it, and so trying to actually put the hat on today required me like tucking some of it in and putting it on real hard because it's really fluffy, and that's why I'm late.
That's why you're late.
That's part of
That's
the reason
why
why I
you're
was
late.
late. Yes.
You could have like if you wanted to, like that you only remember him as the silver fox, but when he had like a in the 50s and 60s, he had like an Elvis Presley pomp.
Did he? I want to see
Yes, he
pictures. You
did.
gotta find a picture of that somewhere. Just him, is sitting around with a guitar that he didn't know how to play but knew how to strum.
Yes,
You
he
know,
knew how to do like
two
two
chords.
little two little chords.
Two little
Exactly,
chords. Two little chords.
two little chords.
Well,
Yes. Yeah.
well, folks, put down your
He was
everything bagels. Yes.
he was like us. He just wanted to be famous so bad.
Yeah, yeah. We just, we want to do our thing, but we don't want to have a talent. We don't want to try at a particular thing. We just want everybody to know us. But folks, put down your everything bagels. We're ending the chatter here in the student union. We're gonna walk across the quad, hop on into the lecture hall, and see if the professor shows up this week.
Nope.
Doesn't
No
seem like
assignments
it.
again.
All right, no homework again this week, folks. I hope she's still gonna grade us. It can't be on the curve though. We haven't been able to turn anything in.
You know what? She's gonna have to either give us a P or an A. There's no
Yeah,
grades.
yeah, we passed. Not even an F. It's not even an F anymore. It's just a pass or nothing.
Exactly.
Grand's biscuits today, says Jeannie. And what sort of
Ooh.
did you put jelly on them, or butter and jelly,
Okay.
or
And
honey, or what is it that went with the
and
biscuit?
are they the layer ones? Are they the flaky ones? Are they buttermilk? Are they butter flavored?
Did they already come with some like cinnamon swirl already on the inside? Just interesting. I just want to know. I just want to know. I think she's in Connecticut to see Laura Wright, says Jeannie, and I think that might be right. Miss
Ooh.
Angela, Professor Angela, over in Suds in the Squared Circle. Vincenzo over there as well, co-host, talking General Hospital. They do it Monday nights.
Hmm.
So
Is she really going to see? Is she really going to go see
I,
Laura?
I remember them saying something to me about them both seeing Laura Wright in some capacity. I didn't realize that.
That's awesome.
I see. I know that they're both East Coasters. Hi,
Hmm.
East Coaster. By the way, if you pop on in to say hello for Days for Dummies, I know that they both live on the East Coast. I don't know how geographically close they are to one another, but
But all those little bitty New England states,
they're
man, they're
tiny.
all just
Yeah.
crammed right there.
Well, I know she's in Massachusetts, and Vinny could be in Connecticut for all I know. So I mean, it's not a far trip. It'd be like
Exactly.
me going to Sacramento. It's
Maybe even
way
less
less,
than that.
probably less.
Probably even less than that.
They do
Yeah.
have a gift for her. I've seen the gift. I know exactly what it is that they made for her. So I don't know if they've shared it on their show. So I'm not going to say anything right now about it. But it definitely fits with the brand. That's for sure.
Oh, I hope Angela gets to go see Laura Wright because I know she absolutely
Well,
loves her.
folks, hey, check out their show tomorrow on their Suds Media channel, and
Mm,
get the lowdown on what happened there and how Laura
mm.
reacted to the gift that she's inevitably going to get. Anyway, that's enough of stuff that's not us.
Enough of stuff that ain't us.
That's not us. That's not us. No, we're gearing up to go to the GH fan club event in the next couple of weeks. That's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, that's
Couple of
happens.
months, several weeks,
That's
whatever.
uh, the last day of July and the first 2 days of August.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they so it's funny because we saw a schedule. I think you shared a schedule with me,
Yeah,
and
and it's been added. Things have been added.
yeah, yeah. I think Tabiana Ali and what's his bucket, Jens
Mhm.
Austen and Astrup have a thing together, and then Blaze is a part of their trio for some reason.
Yeah,
Like it's
Blaze is
hosted by
going to
her.
be a special guest of theirs. Maybe Blaze is on her way back. But you know what?
I don't
This is
know.
not Pizza Airlines we're talking
I
about.
know. I was saying this was all to lead up to that. There's this cool thing that we want to do that's involved in the soap world, and you can help us out by donating through the super chat and super thanks function. That's
Hmm.
what we're collecting all of that for right now. So if you wanted to donate to the channel, you absolutely can. YouTube makes it super easy. Just look for the dollar bill and the little heart or something like that. Just click it, and then you can send a little cash doodle to the show, and we're going to turn that into ticket funds to be able to go to this event, to be able to go to as many of these Q&As as possible, and be able to bring that reaction to you live right here on YouTube, as if you went.
Absolutely.
So that was it.
Absolutely.
That was my commercial. Anyway, back to Days of Our Lives. Michelle, hi Michelle, Jeannie, Sandra, hello, good morning. Michelle wants to know, so what did you think of Sammy?
Well, what did I think of Sammy? I felt like I don't know. Of course, I haven't seen Sammy before, but I felt like Allison Sweeney just put on an old comfortable coat
After,
and
yeah.
felt like she'd never had it off.
Now, she didn't slap
It
Nicole.
was fantastic. I liked it.
There was no physical altercation. She didn't hit anybody.
No, she didn't.
And that's something that we always look forward to when it comes to Sammy, is whether or
Well, yeah,
not she's
you
gonna
know,
hit someone. But what we got is for me, because like you said, we'd never seen Sammy before. We know the
no,
legend of Sammy, but we'd never really seen it because we're too new to Days of Our Lives for that. So this is our first time really ever seeing Allison Sweeney as Sammy Brady.
yeah.
And and you're totally right. She it's like she never left. It's like she understands how to be Sammy.
Oh gosh, I think, yeah, yeah.
Like that's something that I can only relate to in just like my podcasting life, because the way that I talk to people in real life isn't exactly how I sound when I'm podcasting. I'm a I don't know, I'm deeper, I'm slower, I'm more controlled, I'm smarter, I'm wittier, I'm funnier when I'm podcasting. But there's like social pressure in real life that exists, that changes the way that I speak to people. So
Actually, you guys, when we go to an event together, um, Matt does really, really well, but he doesn't mingle with strangers as easily as I do.
yeah, because I don't like them.
So he'll go, Mom, go out there and go do your
Go
thing.
do your thing. Go do your thing. And then
Bring him back to me.
I'll go after something that I'm like super confident in. Like Amy Shaughnessy, she's not on the show. She's adjacent to the show. I'll go talk to her. Anyway, so all of that to say, I understand what it's like to like sit in front of this podcast and be able to sound the same week over week. And it's like slipping right into it. I don't have to think about it. So I guess it's similar for somebody like Allison Sweeney, who had played Sammy for so long, to be able to just be like, oh, I'm surrounded by Days of Our Lives. I know exactly how to pull this out of myself, even though I've been solving Baker Time mysteries over on Lifetime for the last 12 years.
Well, I liked her. I like Sammy. I like assertive, strong women on soap operas, and I know she's going to be one. Um, Boy, she was snarky and mean to her little sister like that. But there's no love lost with Belle either. Belle don't seem to be a big old Sammy fan either.
The more I see of Belle, the more I realize what a terrible mess she is. And I
Yeah,
wonder if she's always been this huge of a mess.
she's a little bit of a mess. Yes, she is.
She absolutely is.
And
And
I was watching, good old AJ's lying there. And
EJ.
I, if medically induced coma, can he hear and think? but not be able to express. What would EJ be thinking, Matt?
Oh
Those
no.
two girls.
Why are you talking about this around my bed? I'm trying to rest. I've been shot, don't you understand? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Jeannie wants to go so bad, but the tickets are too high and the train doesn't go that far. Sorry, Jeannie. Oh, goodness gracious. It's the perfect way to tell the story of Sammy. It's Sammy history, says Sandra. So I guess Sandra liked it this week. And then Michelle
Well,
comments that we got a tamed Sammy.
oh, we got to tame Sammy. Yeah, well, I believe that we probably did. Yeah, because she has quite a reputation. I'm sure we got to tame Sammy. I watched a scene a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how old it was, but it was her and Nicole. She slapped the crap out of her twice. I watched that scene, and she was spitting nails, that
I
Sammy.
am sure she could go there again and might before she's done with the show this time around because it's just such classic Samminess, right? To be able to do something like that.
Hmm.
Um, I understand why it was a tamed Sammy, though. We got a little snark when it came to her and Belle. Clearly, the Brady sisters just aren't going to get along. I know Belle's not a Brady, but I'm just going to use that name just to relate them together. But it's just, I don't know what it is about Marlena's daughters, but they have such a rivalry, it seems.
They do, and it's
Sammy's
like,
in the middle of it. Problems with Carrie, problems with Belle.
yeah, they're probably, I would say, Sammy. Well, you guys would know probably better through sources or whatever, but by looking at them, I would say Sammy and Belle look like they're about 8 to 10 years apart.
That probably tracks.
Belle is the baby sister.
Yes, Belle is definitely the baby sister.
Yeah, so I don't, they're not like 2, 3 years apart. No, I
No,
think
no, 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 because
a little more than that.
conceivably, conceivably, Sammy's just a smidge older than I am. If there was
Yes,
no Soros,
right, right.
like
So,
within 3 years of me.
she tracks though. She tracks as a. She looks great.
Yeah, well, she there was a Soros. They jumped from we're upstairs to now we're teenagers, and then now I'm Kirsten Storms. So
Hmm.
I think actually that was the Sammy that saw the affair was Kirsten Storms. I don't know for sure. You can tell me in the chat. But I think that was the one. In any case, yeah, we got a tame Sammy, and I think it was an appropriately tamed Sammy. Michelle says it's Sammy after therapy, because
Well, she did talk about therapy a lot. She did.
she came back with a lot of tools and a lot of
Hmm.
recollection of past choices and potential consequences from being a wild child. Not painting things as if, if I didn't wear that short skirt, I wouldn't have been asking for it. But I set myself in these environments. I kept myself in these situations where I allowed the trauma and the drama of my life to make me make choices that I wish I wouldn't have made. I think that's an appropriate way to frame it, as
Yeah,
appropriate as you can get.
I thought that the things that she said to Johnny were pretty good for an explanation. Ultimately she forgave EJ.
Ultimately, she did. Yes, there was karma. She says, it's interesting because, but she's totally had been victimized by people. There's no doubt about that. But
Hmm.
she herself also recognizes that I'm not super cool.
Right. But and from what she was saying, she's been boxcarred 3 times.
3 times is a lot.
3 times.
That's quite a bit. Days of our lives. I don't know why you
Vinegar,
kept going there.
EJ, and then another person that I don't recall.
This high school person that I guess
Yes.
wound up with Carrie. So well, no. That she did that to Carrie's husband or whatever, Alan.
Yes,
She drugged him
drugged
and
him.
said, "Oh well, if I convince you to do this, and you're going to fall in love with me." It's again, we talked about it over the last couple of weeks because it's been the story.
Mhm.
Just the different frame of reference of the 80s and 90s versus 2025. Because yes, absolutely, yes, these are all under the umbrella
Hmm.
of the boxcar situations and always have been.
Mm-hmm.
But the frame of coercion of, well, if we just do this, then you'll fall in love with me. Like it's just
I
storytelling from before, and
think the
it's
mindset
crime now, and that's not a complaint. It's just interesting.
it's just a a difference in how just society looks at that in a way. It used to be like if it wasn't violent, it wasn't a boxcar. More like, where, like you mentioned, there is an umbrella.
Yeah, there's an umbrella. Because when you first hear that word, that four-letter word that we're not going to say, but the word,
Hmm.
when you hear that word, and they use it a lot in Days of Our Lives, so you know what we're talking about. The image that you get is somebody being thrown down
Exactly.
and with their clothes ripped off and all that sort of stuff. But
Hmm.
these cases that Sammy has experienced hasn't necessarily been that.
Right.
So it's almost like a slap or a punch when you know, oh well, you R-worded me, you boxcarred me.
Hmm.
There's just like this punch of like what a big deal, what a big accusation, what a terrible thing for me to have done. And then
Hmm.
now if you're EJ, you now have to like think about what you did. Did I frame is my in my frame of reference now, which EJ's changed his, we've seen it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but but he had to have that switch of, I didn't just convince her of doing this. I did something horribly evil to her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, all of that connected into, can he hear this?
Right.
How is he going to wake up? Is EJ going to wake up better? Is he going to wake up good? He's just going to wake up and he'll be like, hey guys, let's just all come together, okay? If we
Well,
just
I don't.
get along.
Do I think he could wake up better? Yes. Of course he could wake up better. But the caveat would be, how long would better last?
See, because
Samara.
he's a Demira. He is the second coming of Adam Chandler, just on NBC Peacock rather than all ABC All My Children. Because I mean, I don't know every story that All My Children did, but I could totally see them having done one with Adam where something happens and he realizes the error of his ways and he's going to be better and he's going to be good just like Stuart, and it lasts all of 6 months.
Exactly. Exactly. And then it goes back to conniving,
And then somebody offers him a
manipulating.
deal.
Yep.
This, that, the other thing. You can get tagged to leave town finally. All you got to do is
And
sign on the dotted line.
excuse me. Yeah.
Oh, Jeannie says that the whole E-Jammy story, this is EJ and Sammy from way back when, was sort of like Luke and Laura, where it started off with this thing that shouldn't have happened, but eventually became real passionate love.
I thought about that too, but I just didn't want to bring up that other soap again. But but I thought about that too. They do seem a little parallel.
It's okay to talk about Luke and Laura so long as we don't then just be like, Lucky and Liz, they're just great on the show right now, aren't they?
Right. Right.
It's okay.
Yeah, I see that parallel too. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Jeannie sees it too, so that means that the rest of the fandom does as well, because Jeannie represents the fandom of Days of Our Lives in its entirety. She shares
Well,
every opinion.
well, she's a big fan. That's for
Big fan,
doggone
that's for
sure.
sure. Uh, but hey, next week or the week after, I don't know exactly when because I don't see the previews or read the spoilers. But
And and you know what, Matt?
what's that?
I think we need to take next week off.
Oh yeah, what's happening next week?
It's Easter Sunday,
So,
so I don't want a podcast. So sorry.
so you just decided that you don't want to.
Well, not on Easter Sunday. I'm going to be
Wow.
busy.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna have to find somebody else to podcast with then.
Oh yeah.
Vinny. Fido, what are you doing, Fido? Do you want to talk about Days of Our Lives?
I don't know. We could do something at another time, perhaps.
Julie? Julie.
But yeah, especially now that we're podcasting until 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm just gonna get Julie Dove and I'm gonna get Sherry. I'm gonna get both of them here, and I'm gonna have a 3-person podcast with 2 Days of Our Lives stars, and you don't get to participate because you want to hang out with your family and look for eggs instead. Because they're gonna have time. Especially Sherry. She doesn't do anything with her kid. I'm kidding.
I have a feeling she's gonna be busy too.
Jeannie says, I will love Rafe and Sammy reconnecting, but it will be short lived. And that's what I was trying to lead up to, because next week after, I don't know, I don't watch previews, but we're getting it though. Sammy and Rafe rekindling.
Yep.
Rafami.
Yeah.
Safe, actually, is what they call him. Because Rafe, maybe might be the only safe option for one Miss Sammy Brady.
Well, what happens to good old Jada? She's gonna be so brokenhearted.
Well, maybe maybe that's not them. Maybe that's not the future. I mean, Jade.
Maybe it's not. But I don't like Jada with Sean.
I just don't like Sean.
I'm not crazy about him either.
I haven't found my moment yet with Sean that really sells me on him.
Exactly, me too. I haven't seen that scene where I was like, oh, he's good.
And
Not that he's not.
but not even that. But like I get it. I get why this person is on the show. Why he keeps coming back. Why they continue to tell Sean stories. We haven't seen that yet.
No, we haven't.
I saw it immediately with Sammy.
Bill don't seem to miss him a bit.
Not at all. Not at all. She's desperately in love with EJ. So that then just makes me wonder how important was Sean and Belle.
Not very.
Just because they were together when we started watching doesn't mean that they were the best couple, huh?
And what do women in general see in EJ? Because I don't see a redeeming factor for him. I don't see anything great about him. He got some money, but so what? He's not. He's certainly not ugly, but he ain't Alex good looking.
Well, let us know, folks.
Not Brady good looking.
What is it that people continually fall in love with?
He doesn't seem to have a great sense of humor. He's money hungry to marry a fool is what he is.
I mean, that's what we've seen, but we also saw him like after the whole Nicole thing where he's at his worst. So I really don't know what EJ's like at his best.
I don't. I think even it seems like he's had so much turmoil, mostly created on his own, but he's had so much turmoil that if he's not living in that angst,
Yeah.
he don't know what to do.
So he just constantly creates it.
Yeah.
Instead of just telling the truth, EJ. This is Arnold Vinegar.
He
just tell
has
the
to
truth.
have something to talk to the portrait about at all times.
That way everybody can hear him talking to his daddy-o. Sean and Belle belong together, suggests Sandra. And she likes Sean's eyes. Well,
He does have riveting blue eyes, doesn't he?
he does. And it's because, those dark features and then the bright blue eyes. It's really hard to not be drawn right into the middle of his face.
And blue-eyed people, typically, you will have these brilliant, sparkly kind of blue eyes when you're a child. But as you get older, they tend to be more muted, a little more gray, and that bright blue isn't quite the same.
But he still got it.
But he still has that. And,
does.
like I said, it just seems like by the time you reach 30, 40 years old, you just don't have those bright, bright blue eyes like you did when you were 6.
They're fake. What he does is he pops them out at night and he puts them in the freezer because the cold chills his irises and keeps them that icy blue.
Now, the fact that you mentioned that makes me laugh because did Philip not go to the doctor to have his leg checked, his fake leg?
Yeah.
Okay. Did we not see 3 or 4 months ago a scene of him
Standing there.
towel
He's just got a
with two
really,
very
really...
real legs?
So he was wearing a towel. We didn't see where his, knee met with his lower leg or anything like that. What he's got is just a really convincing prosthetic.
A very, very good.
It's super convincing. But yeah, Philip with one leg and his wild eyes and just they have done such good work with Philip and Sander. Taking their tension and then turning it into brotherhood and now moving forward with teamwork, with real genuine, one person is completing the other in these business moves, real genuine effective teamwork.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and I would love to sit down and talk to the two of them. Wouldn't
Come
that
on,
be so
Day of
fun, man?
Days. Come on.
Oh, to talk to Philip and Xander
Do
together.
the press room
That'd be so
again,
fun.
please. Because obviously that would
Fun.
be that would be the duo that comes through, right? No, we got to talk about it because they're together. You know, we were talking about who's EJ's the new Stefano, who's going to be the new Victor, quote unquote,
Hmm.
new. It seems like I don't know if it's purposeful or if it's something the actors are doing or I don't know what, but the duo of Xander and Philip is Victor.
It is, and it's very entertaining. I love watching the two of them
They're
together.
so yeah, that's the best word
Love it.
is it's not even bad guys that you love to hate or heroes that you want to see succeed, but just people who are entertaining. Entertaining television, entertaining characters to see. It doesn't matter what it is that they're involved in, you like what it is that they're pumping out. And I really think that might have been Victor Kiriakis' greatest strength. Was it didn't matter what John Aniston was up to, you just really enjoyed watching John Aniston do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're getting that with because they took over Demir. I know we're not the Demiras are evil. We know that they're the bad guys, but also they just got hostilely taken over
Yeah, and Kristen,
nefariously.
next week I can't wait for Kristen to find out because she don't know yet.
She don't know yet. She's still trying to not be the prime suspect in the shooting of EJ.
Right. She's trying to hide in Rachel's room with her and read books. I don't know.
They need to go into the tunnels and find themselves in Aramid and start wearing white dresses. I think is what needs to
And
happen.
then the two brothers, they can't wait to go over and just bust
Rub it
Gabby.
in. Oh my
Just
gosh.
bust
Oh, this is our
Gabby in the
thing.
foot.
Oh, by the way, Gabby, you don't work here anymore, but we're gonna keep the name.
Yeah. Gabby Chic stays here.
But you don't. Bye bye. Ta ta. And it's those moments, those scenes where we like Gabby. We want Gabby to succeed. She's one of the characters that we support, even if she's doing the wrong thing. We're like, you go get it, girl.
Yep.
You know, like we're Gabby fans. I don't want to say stans because
We are. We're
I don't
Gabby
like
fans. We're
stans.
super Sherry fans
And
too.
we really like Sherry. Sherry's a wonderful lady, and any time that an actor like takes 5 minutes to talk to us outside of the show as well, it just makes us feel real special. So,
Yeah, it does.
so thanks, Julie and Sherry and Dr. Rolf, which I'm going to write down your name so I remember it every time we mention you. And I just don't because I'm a really, really, really bad podcast host and an even worse human being. Matthew Demira. I got to change my name. Hang on. Hold on. Rename.
Yeah. That's right. You should be at the mirror today.
Mira.
Oh my God, that was fast.
Yes, sir. I'm
Oh my
going to take everything that you have. I am Matthew Demira.
All right, but are you a what are you? How are you a Demira? Are you a Stephanos kid?
Oh, I'm actually Andre's kid.
Who's he?
He's Teo Pugilis or whatever his name is.
Oh,
The South
I don't
African.
know.
I think he's a South African actor. He's. I see. What the only way for me to tell you who he is to mention a show that's not Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
He's Victor. Victor
He's
Victor
what?
Victor Cassadine. WSB Victor Cassadine.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Not Charles.
Not
The other one.
no, not Charles Shaughnessy, but the one that came before this one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
interestingly enough, we were both on Days of Our Lives together at the same time. He was
Uh-huh.
playing Andre Demira, and I was playing Shane Donovan. Tony and Andre are twins, absolutely. Andre was the bad guy. Tony was the good one. Tony Demira was the one that was married to
But
Carrie's
he was
mom.
the Chad. He was the Chad of that generation.
Chad?
Yeah, Chad is the good Demira.
Yes, he was the good Demira. Yes. I think he was actually. See, I don't know. I don't want to say for sure, but I think there was only the two Demiras at the time. It was Stefano and Tony.
Okay, and so who is which one of those guys is Alex's father?
Alex Kyriakis?
Oh, different family.
Yeah,
Forget
different
it.
family. Alex's dad is Justin.
I got
You mixed them all
I've
together. It's okay.
melded the
It's all
families.
right. It's okay.
My brain.
It's. I forgive you. I don't know if Alex will though. Andre is the bad guy. Thaao is the name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Tao or if it's Teo. I don't know. Let me know. I know that he did State of Mind with Maurice Bernard, so check that out. And he's Australian, not South African. So let me correct that. But yeah, anyway, so I'm his kid.
Oh, okay.
But I'm Andre's kid, not Tony's. I'm the kid of the bad one.
You're the kid of the bad one.
Yeah, Andre had his face changed to look like Tony so he could replace Tony.
Oh, well, Kristen and EJ better watch themselves.
Yeah, and so I changed my face to look like this one so I can infiltrate your family.
Oh, so you guys out there in the chat, I who do you think shot EJ? I am still on the Gabby train. I've been saying it
So, yeah,
all along.
Mama's
But
on the Gabby train.
I still think that Gabby shot him.
I think it's going to be a wild, shocking twist that we don't see coming. And since we are slamming into the Ron Cavalardi departure date here in the next couple of weeks, I'm thinking that the person who shot EJ, he didn't choose.
Perhaps not. With this week, the scene we saw a scene where Gabby was remembering she was looking through the window into the living room of the Damaris.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps Gabby didn't shoot him. I'm thinking she did, but perhaps she saw who did.
I'm
Maybe
thinking
she knows who shot him.
She either saw something or she was going in there to do it and then ran into Kristen. They could even do like 3 people show up to shoot EJ at the same time and they have to figure it out or do some sort of like, I don't know, firing squad type thing.
Well, I tell you what, it could have even been Kate.
It could have been, I mean, really, so
And that Vivian Alamain better watch out too, because Kate might be not done shooting people.
imagine if they killed off Vivian. If Kate killed Vivian, can you imagine? I think that actually, Ma, now that we're talking about it, I think that's something they should do.
I think so too.
Because
And Philip will not have to worry about his 2 moms anymore. What happened?
I don't know, there's like a noise. Oh, it's the shower. Okay.
Okay.
Like I hear this rumbling. What's this rolling? Is it something outside? No, okay. Anyway, sorry. I think that they should do that. Here's why. Because it would be a move, not like it would be a move because of Kate and Vivian. Like they've been on the show forever. And been a part of Days of Our Lives forever. And we've seen Vivian come and go. Like she never leaves the vestibule that has the revolving door. She just pops and then goes back around and pops in and goes back around and pops in. She just never leaves the entry.
I will never forget the first time I saw her when I first started watching Days, because she popped in soon after we started watching Days, and she had a black sequins turban on.
Yes.
And I thought, what the?
Who is this? Helena?
What in the Helena Casadine?
Exactly. Yes, yes. So because I'm desperate for Kate to like do something cool. Because I know that people like she's been on the show forever and she has all this history and she knows so much and can be involved in so much that I just want something for her to do, and shooting Vivian is something for her to do, that's for sure. Vivian took Stefan recently. She kidnapped the boy.
Yeah, she did.
And we haven't seen him since.
No.
So she did that. So that's something.
Didn't we see him getting thrown in her trunk?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We never saw him again. Not yet. So she did that recently, and so that's something bad that she's done that the audience can remember. Oh my gosh, you took Stefan away from us. That's no fun. We really like that guy. And then just when it comes down to it, Kate shoots Vivian. The end of Vivian, not because the actress has passed away and there's this lantern hung on memorializing the character forever, but because that's just what happens, because it's a soap opera, and that's the end of Vivian, because Kate has had a frickin' enough. 30 years of tormenting these people in Salem ended by Kate.
Yeah.
I'm with it. And no coma, dead. No Clyde Weston, all right?
Oh,
Dead.
the
conversation, the move, the plot, the interesting ways of writing things. Like, I think that there's a lot of value in that. And, you know.
And then Roman could find out and try to save her in some way.
Or be super mad.
Come
on, Katie, we can't do this. We're too old. Vivian was 95. God would have taken her eventually.
But Vivian is a money-hungry old broad.
Oh, she wants half a Titan.
She's right back in town, not satisfied, because you know Philip's going to be going to be filtering her some money. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need half a Titan. Oh, it's
No,
going to be filtering her some money where she could stay the hell out of
but she
town,
has a
Mom.
lifestyle, Ma.
I know, doesn't she? That's what she keeps on mentioning. The lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. She has two lifestyles. She got prison lifestyle, which she's there often, and then she has her bougie lifestyle.
It's like Martha Stewart, just going from orange to a fabulous manner, and then back into orange. But you know what? I picked up a couple of interesting friends along the way.
Yeah. Speaking of Martha Stewart, why did she belong in jail and somehow these other folks don't? I don't get it, but
Insider trading.
I know.
The reason why she belonged in jail is because she got caught.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
other people didn't get caught. Let's see here. I
No,
think
they're
I like
right now
Sandra.
doing their thing.
I like Sandra's idea when it comes to the shooting. She says, "I'm still thinking it's little Rachel," and she thinks that numerous people saw it and they're all running interference.
Ooh, that kind of makes
This
sense,
story is
right?
100%, in my opinion, and if I was writing this, this is what I would go to after having meetings with my staff to make sure that they understand what my plan is and making sure that the people in NBC and Peacock agree with what it is that I want to do. I would tell this story, obviously, through the flashbacks of all of these characters, which they've already started to do. I agree with this decision because we set up everybody's motive. EJ gets shot, we don't know who it is. And now, this week, we've had a flashback from all of our prime suspects that we've collected over the last couple of weeks of them retrieving a gun on the night of the shooting. Which means, and then we saw Gabby look through the window, which means now we're going to see what Johnny did after pulling Roman's gun. We're going to see what Kate did after taking the gun out of her safe. We're going to see, we're going to see, we're going to see, we're going to see. Eventually, until we get to a how to get away with murder type of moment where we see the
Hmm.
crime actually happen and then we break off from those flashbacks and just continue to sail forward with whatever the plot is.
Hmm.
And I like what Sandra's mind is there. I know it's weird to say, hey, I want this 12-year-old to be the one that shot EJ. But I want this 12-year-old to be the one that shot EJ.
It's going to be interesting whoever shot EJ, but that would be something else right there. And that I'm not, yeah. If
I want a major shock. I don't want it to be Kristen. I don't want it to be Gabby. I don't want it to be somebody that makes perfect sense. Somebody that would do this. You know, I'm looking for like Rachel. I'm looking for as it turns out, Brady did this. Paulina. You know,
that
Abe.
would be shocking.
You know, Abe has heard the whole thing. He hasn't been on TV. Why hasn't he been on TV? Because he's busy shooting EJ and just hiding. You know, like nobody suspected Abe because he hasn't been around. What's he been doing? Oh, I saw him eating an everything bagel over at the bistro.
Hmm.
Wasn't him, was it? No, it was.
No,
See, that's what I want. That's what I want out of this story. So we'll see what happens.
something shocking.
Here's a thought: could the shooter be Mrs. Choi, ridding the world of evil?
Well,
Mrs. Choi in a black mask.
that would be a shock. That would be right under what Matthew was saying. That would be a shock.
Jeannie wants to let you know, Ma, since you want other people to go to prison beyond Martha Stewart, that there's plenty of insider trading happening in Washington D.C. and it's probably only a matter of time.
Well,
Mr. Shin, well, Mr. Shin, yeah, Mr. Shin, Jeannie suggests might have been the culprit. That would be a surprise culprit, and it does open the door for the Kyriakis takeover of Demira. Titan taking over Demira.
so we've seen Mr. Shin and he's on board now. Okay. Well, it's time to bring his son back.
Let's go,
He's
Lee.
not
Come
dead.
on. Come on, Lee. You're still
But
hanging out with
he
these
needs
people.
to
You're
come.
still friends. You were in Los Angeles watching your buddies play music. That means you were hanging out in LA and not in Atlanta.
That's right.
So, and you knew that the
Yeah.
concert was happening, and nobody can ever say if they're actually on the
Oh,
show. So,
by the way,
come
Matt,
on,
did you
Remington.
day players have been added to the GH weekend?
How interesting. It's because of the barash and the girth of it all.
Exactly. Exactly. But they have.
Oh, that's neat. We're gonna have to go check it out because we're big Day Players fans.
We are.
Yeah, yeah,
I
we are.
love the day players.
At a certain point, they're gonna have to recognize us, right?
They already do.
Do they?
I think so.
I think Walter Kurth is too famous to recognize us. It will need to be a disposable character, not a main one, says Sandra. I think so. Here's that's also the value of using somebody like Rachel is because she's young enough to go to jail for a little bit. I know
He's
that they
going
just
to
recast
go
her.
through intense therapy.
Yeah, I know they just recast her, so the likelihood of her being off screen for an extended period of time is low. Because why would you recast in order to just write the character off? But
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I think somebody that age is fine because it doesn't wreck a current adult character,
Hmm.
and now you get another Sammy, Carrie, just really troubled young person growing up.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if it was Rachel either, because I do know because they have replaced the actress, and it would make sense that they would source her to be 12 or 13 if she's the shooter.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's I don't know. It's tough because I don't know what it's like to sit behind the scenes and talk about. Well, if we go with a shooter that's 10 years old, what does that look like? What are people going to say we're saying? What are we saying by telling the story? That sort of stuff. Maybe this belongs to a character that's a smidge, a skosh more older, so there's more of an understandable emotional through line or something. Because for a 10-year-old to make that decision would have to be like that. Like that's an extreme decision for a 10-year-old
It
to make.
is.
And
It
it's
is.
sad to say, but it's less of an extreme decision in 2025 for a 13-year-old to make. So I mean that could have been a conversation because that I
Mhm.
mean optics, PR, that sort of stuff is something that's important to a television show. What an interesting thought, Mother.
And I wonder, what do you think the purpose of bringing Rex back right now is?
That's a good question.
There's got to be a purpose for having Rex back.
I mean, so it's hard for me to necessarily always find the purpose for a character coming back for a couple of episodes, beyond just the way. How do I phrase this? It's like because I don't want to I don't want to pretend like I know anything because I don't. But it comes off to me like a strategy for utilizing characters because they're not contracted, they don't owe this person anything, but we want to keep the family alive, we want to keep Rex involved. It would make sense for her son to come back with this information
Hmm.
right now and mention this, and if we can get, I think his name is Kyle Loader,
Hmm.
if we can get him on to do a couple of days, like, then that's just more beneficial than Kate or anybody getting a phone call,
Yeah.
right? And I
And
just
he suspects his mom too because he found her gun. You know
right.
what? And kids, some of these folks are pretty sloppy with their guns.
Yes.
Really kind of sloppy with their guns.
Hmm.
Just leaving them loose in their handbag
Yeah.
without the safety
Yeah.
on. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. It's just like if I put it down, poof, I'm gonna explode like at the end of Lost with the Alana and the. Anyway, that's a deep cut reference. I just wish people like if there was somebody who was exactly me who listened to this podcast, they would have a wonderful good time. Any case, so I think that utilizing not Philip, but anyway, that guy Rex uh, in that capacity is just to keep him alive, keep him around, and not just have to like mention this person that's off screen. Days of Our Lives doesn't have the biggest core cast as well,
mhm.
and so there's a little bit of breathing room when it comes to, well, our day player isn't the cheapest one step above an extra we could possibly get, but actually somebody that's been on before, and we can give them a
And
decent rate for
and
these
Kate,
2 days.
I guess Kate's got like four sons,
So we definitely two.
definitely two, but she mentioned a couple others too.
I'm really not sure how many other kids Kate has.
And and Kate's a good suspect too because because EJ threatened to hurt one of her boys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rex, there's Philip,
Mm-hmm.
there's Lucas,
Yes, that's right, Lucas.
and I think there's a fourth one. Chat, you would know. Jeannie, you would know for sure.
That is right. It is Lucas because he was hiding out in her room.
Hmm.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Gosh, has Kate had like a child with every prominent family?
I think she
Does she
has.
have a Demira out there?
Yeah.
Because she's got a Brady and she's got a Kyriakis. She's got a Horton.
Mm-hmm.
So is the fourth a Demira?
That should be. Makes
As it
sense.
turns out, we find out that she's actually Chad's mom.
Would that be something? And that's why he has somewhat. That's why he is somewhat of a better disposition than the others. That's why he's the good one.
Wait a minute. Okay, four, says Sandra. Lucas, Rex, Philip, and Austin. Isn't Austin the one that wound up with Carrie? Isn't that Austin? Was Austin the one that Sammy drugged? Or is that a different person?
Oh,
Let us know in the chat. Because we don't know nothing and Angela isn't here.
she is not. She is not.
Let us know. Let us know, chat. Let us know. Because if it is, I don't know. That puts her with the Evans families in some way through marriage. So boom. Oh goodness gracious. Oh no, but then that would be weird because Carrie and then I don't know. I don't know anything. That's where the branches start to grow into each other in the family trees, and it's too hard to think about live.
So I guess Sammy is going to be in town talking with EJ and everybody else until her mother returns. Her mother is going to return with some bad news.
Yes, we're leading up to
Eventually,
that, and then
we're
she'll.
leading up to that.
Yes, Austin. Yes, the same Austin.
Hmm.
Oh boy, the interconnectedness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. So is Kate gonna show up at some point and be like, well, who cares about Sammy? That's what she did to my boy, okay? So Austin wound up with Carrie. Is that the story right now that Austin and Carrie are happily ever after somewhere off screen? Is that because that's kind of the sense that I got.
That's where people stay happy and together is off
They
screen.
have to move out of Salem and not come back. Lonnie,
Yeah.
okay? Lonnie, you stay gone. Okay?
Yep.
Lonnie,
Lonnie, you stay
Eli,
gone. You'll stay happy.
you leave those kids in the school that they're at right now. Okay? Do not follow the breadcrumbs of law enforcement back here in Salem. All right? Working for the FBI is a much better gig than the Salem PD,
Yes.
I promise you.
You got to ask anybody in the square. Salem's a lot.
Kate also has two daughters, Billy and another one that Jeannie can't remember the name of. So that's a lot of kids for old Kate.
Hey, but
Kate got
she's
6
got
kids.
babies, huh?
Kate has 6 kids.
But Philip,
Oh.
she did not. Philip, she did not carry. That's a crazy Elming woman.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. Still, though, it's her boy.
right.
Billy was played by Lisa Rinna.
Lisa Rinna.
From I believe she's one of the housewives of Beverly
Yes,
Hills.
she is. But I know that she's been on a lot of soap operas in the past. I didn't watch one with her on it.
I
but
think
I absolutely know who Lisa Rinna is.
I find that more often than not, if you are a person who has been on soap operas, you have also done a little bit of Days of Our Lives.
At least been on the stage a couple of times.
At
huh?
least done a little something, a breeze through or a prominent role. But it seems as though Days has always been a place that says, "Come on down, have a little fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
Come on, Clyde Weston, we'll give you plenty to do sitting around this table." Rex's twin sister is Billy.
Oh, I tell you, Days of Our Lives is like every other soap opera. Twins are plenty.
Twins. Nothing
Twins,
but
twins.
Nothing but twins. All right, Ma. Last thing we need to talk about is young adult fight.
Okay.
Youngadultfight.com. Not bum fight. Youngadultfight.com. Because we can't go 2 weeks without a little bit of violence here on Days of Our Lives.
A little bit, yeah.
And so last week we had a shooting. This week we have a fist fight. We've got peacocking. We've got posturing.
Yep.
We've got old Doug being like, "Yeah, I'm just going to let you draw your own conclusion." Oh, no, you're hitting me for it.
Yeah, Tate hit him, didn't he?
Doug, a little advice for you, young man. Just don't let people believe this sort of stuff. If you need to have a conversation with Alex Kyriakis, who's recently dealt with something very similar, go ahead. But when somebody's like, "You did this," and you didn't, Just say that you didn't,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're going to get hit.
You know who should be mad in town? I tell you who should be mad in town, and we
Hmm.
haven't seen her in a little bit. A feisty little redhead named Maggie. People moving into her house like nothing. She got a whole house full of folks that no one asked her nothing. Even the Alameda's in there. She tried to move into the house and
She's
steal
just
the
gonna
company.
she's gonna come downstairs one day and be like, "What are all you people doing here?
Exactly. Exactly.
What happened to
She got
Reginald? Reginald?"
Dougie's hiding in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Dougie's there hiding.
Yes.
Ollie's got him hidden up there.
Mm-hmm.
And now Vivian has come in saying, I'm moving in. Just like that. Philip's there. Of course, Xander kind of invited him, but Philip's there. She got 3 grown adults in her house, and she didn't invite not one of them folks.
Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's not in charge of that. Maybe it's somebody else.
Now, well, Maggie was given half,
She
kind
gets,
of.
I mean, she a portion. It's not like the entire Kyriakis fortune went to Philip slash Xander. Maggie
No,
got some of it.
I think actually half was given to Maggie.
Hmm.
So I just think that she, like you said, she ought to come downstairs, go into the breakfast nook right there, and while they're all chucking it up with their everything bagels, she needs to say, "What are you doing here? Who
Yes.
invited you? Who told Reginald to set up your room?"
Leave. Leave my Kyriakis compound. Did you notice that they had a gate this week?
Actually, yes, I did notice. I thought that was pretty clever, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, the last 2 weeks there
'Cause-
have been these 2 gates and it's the Karaoke's house.
Yes, they have now this establishing shot of the Kyriakis
Yes,
estate, which is neat. It's nice because the sets don't always sell how big these properties are supposed to be.
right.
Not even on the other show with that giant mansion that has 8 houses on the property doesn't even really truly sell how big that thing is supposed to
Right.
be, even though it's encroaching onto public land. You know what I'm talking about. So that's it's fun to see. It's fun to see, and it also broadens the show to a degree as well because it's not so. Here's the set and the set and the set and the set and the set.
And you clearly know whose house you're going to.
Yeah. I think that
Clearly know you're going to the Kiriakis house. And yes, and it's expansive. The length, the grounds of it is expansive.
because other almost every other form of visual entertainment that you see, movies and TV shows, uses establishing shots throughout all of their episodes all the time. Hover over Central Park onto the set of Central Park. Now we know we're in Central Park. Here we're showing the office building that we're working in. Now we're inside the office building. Just these establishing shots are normal. Soaps don't do them because it eats valuable dialogue time, but
But they
also
do that a
helps.
lot with like when they're going to have a scene at either place where Kayla and Steve live. They kind of show a scene of the building
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
along
It's
along,
important.
along with Marlena showing that they're at the condo.
Yeah, and so it's nice to see. It's good to see, because it helps fill in the world. It makes it a little bigger. It helps place it,
But it's
and
no
not.
coincidence that it's a gate.
I can't say that because here's the thing. I don't
I
know.
knew.
Well, I mean, I can't say that, and here's why. It doesn't need to be biting, it doesn't need to be ripping off. I can see a show being inspired by another show and all of that and saying, oh well, maybe we should do a previously on, maybe we should do an establishing shot or something like that. But to say, well, they're using a gate and we've got another show that's called Beyond the Gates, like at a certain point, when do we can't show fencing anymore because people are just going to think of the other show because here's a fence.
Yeah, no.
Like opening a gate into a large property like that is also how you sell that establishing shot. So I get it,
Well, if they
but
had started
also we've
using
been called out
it
on
two
saying that
months ago, I wouldn't have thought that.
exactly, and we've been called out online by one person who comments you regularly on Twitter and Don, I think his name is. But he called us out. He's like, hey, how come you keep on accusing these shows of stealing from beyond the gates? That's how rumors start. And I said, I'm just talking to my mom. We're not starting any rumors. But that's something that I guess unwittingly we have been thinking about as we've been watching the other shows since the debut of Beyond the Gates. Is these little, well, they're stealing. But maybe they did. Maybe they're like, this is our love letter reference to Beyond the Gates. So people who are watching Days of Our Lives will think of Beyond the Gates and maybe go support our friends and go watch it.
Even though they're filmed so far ahead, adding that, it has nothing to do with being filmed ahead.
That's the thing. And also, like, the approach too is very different. If somebody burst down the door, Ken Corday went into the editing bay and said, "You've got to add a gate to this episode, god damn it." That's different than the people who are doing editing are like, hey, can we do an establishing shot? Hey, that other show just debuted. My buddy, he was my college roommate, doing that. Mm-hmm. Let's throw a little gate in here. Like it could be an homage. Mm-hmm. Anyway, or it could be nothing and they just used a gate because it establishes rich people.
And the gate is somewhat similar too.
All right, Ma. All right. Now you're digging. Now you're looking for reasons for people to think that we're starting rumors.
We're not starting rumors. That was an observation of mine.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Days of Our Lives, General Hospital biting off of Beyond the Gates week after week. I'm kidding. I can see inspiration, though. I can definitely see inspiration. It's easy to be inspired, especially when you have new competition, quote unquote. Not new competition, but new things to compare yourself to.
Sure.
Yeah, anyway, whatever. Tate and Sophia are definitely going to wind up, we just need to get there at this point when it comes to those two. I'm ready. I'm ready for Tate to be out of Holly's orbit.
Oh, I think we are going to. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of love and happiness between Holly and Tate going forward. I think they're pretty much done.
Yeah.
And I do think that Holly's going to wind up with Doug. Mm-hmm. She's got the feels for Doug, and he certainly has the feels for her.
He likes her very much.
He likes her very much. Very much, yes. And he had a little smirk satisfaction look on his face when found that Holly and Tate are.
Oh, are you? Oh, you're kaput, are you? Mm-hmm. No more. Oh, okay.
He was happy about that. Okay. It's just a matter of time. Julie's going to forgive him, and he's going to be allowed back to the court.
Oh, of course, she's going to forgive him faster than anybody wants her to. Mm-hmm. Because he's going to. I feel he's going to do something. I don't know what the something is. Because there's no suggestion yet. But he'll do something that really reminds Julie, because he already does, but like just really, really, really anchors that second coming of Doug almost in him. That just my Dougie was the same way, Dougie 3.
Yep.
I can let it go this time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I can see that, and I think it'll be a beautiful moment.
I think it will be too.
Yeah, I'm into it.
And then this Christmas, we're going to see Dougie 3 have his own ornament.
Yes, and they better say Dougie 3.
It would be funny if it did, huh? It would be hilarious. It should say Doug with a 3, yes.
No, it needs to say Dougie 3 because that's what we call him. And I like it when the shows, how Cheryl Channing or whoever used to pull her ear. Who did that? Oh,
that's not that. Yeah.
Who did that?
Why can't Carol Burnett?
Carol Burnett. Yeah, she used to. I like it when
that was a signal for kids to go to bed.
Right. So I like it when the shows pull their ears toward us.
I do too.
Dougie 3, or having everything happen on the 10th floor, because it's not like we named our podcast after the floor where everything happens on General Hospital. They just started doing everything on that floor after our podcast. Okay. Anyway, I think that's since we started late, we're gonna end now because I gotta rest my voice and make sure that we're ready for the next podcast that we do.
Yep.
Plus, we talked about it all anyway. What are we going to do? Talk about Brady? Come on. Talk
We're
about
talking about
Rafe.
Brady next week.
Talk about Rafe. Come on.
Well, not next week.
Come on. Talk about Jada. Come on. Come on. Come on. We covered it all.
At least I didn't have to see Stephanie do something stupid for a dude this week.
Not this week. Stay tuned, folks. We'll see what happens next week. What is old Steph gonna do, huh? Old two-eyed Steph. What's she gonna be up to? Gotta call her brother Rex in China and be like, "How are you?" Or just not Rex. Trip in China. Trip, how are you? How's Wendy? By the way, Wendy's father totally sold out the Demiras. Did you know that?
Yep. Oh, by the way, Trip's mom hit the road too.
Yeah, Trip's mom's gone. I think she shot EJ and she's gone. Oh, by the way, she's gone, and people are like, oh no, and then like this week happened and it's like she was never even on the show. The fact that I didn't even think about Ava not being there just goes to show that I think Tamara Braun, that's her name, right, made the right choice when it comes to stepping away from the show, because she ain't doing nothing anyway.
Yeah.
Now her and Sarah Joy Brown can start a show together.
Oh, maybe she could go on that other show and pick up being Kim again.
Maybe.
Maybe.
By the way, Ava, you got another nephew. Anyway, goodbye. Get out of here. Class dismissed. Go pick up your everything bagel you threw on the ground. You got to clean that up. Don't be messy. As we prepare for...
Don't leave your smear around to smear on someone else's foot.
Yeah, or on their butts. Cream cheese butts. All right, folks. That's it. Class dismissed. Get out of here. Go prepare yourselves for your trek to New York to hang out with us at General Hospital on the 10th floor at, we did 11:30, right? Is that when we do it?
No, we do it 11.
11, huh? Well, I really got to prepare them.
The gate's at 1:30.
I know. All right, folks. We'll see you in about half an hour for the next podcast. Talk about General Hospital. Thanks for hanging out with us. Talk about Days of Our Lives. Thank you. That's it. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
Swing for the fences, folks. Bye.